Here are the top 5 things that every real estate agent should have, and 2 items that are completely useless, but you might be paying for already. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Happy day after Thanksgiving, jumping into Black Friday. And so today's episode is a very special one because we're doing something pretty unique. Myself and our 2 special co-hosts are going to be giving you the top 5 things that every real estate agent should have, and then 2 that you should definitely avoid. And if you're using right now, probably need to stop. So without further ado, let's bring on. First up, we've got Chris Rains. Welcome, Chris. And then next, we've got Walter Key. What's up, guys?
How goes it?
Happy Thanksgiving for those in America celebrating Thanksgiving yesterday. And then happy Black Friday.
You can be thankful anywhere.
You can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can still be thankful for life and all the things.
That's true.
All the things.
And now it's Black Friday, where we're extremely selfish and greedy. So this episode is hopefully to at least make you productive with the opportunities we have today. So guys, as you know, because you sent me this list, today we're going to be going over each of yours top 5 things that a real estate agent should have, plus 2 items that are useless. So I'm going to go ahead and start with, let's see, who did I put first on there? Walter. All right. Look at that. Doesn't that look so
That's
good?
fancy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fancy.
I did this up to 30 seconds ago.
You want them all at once or you want them one at a time?
Don't worry. Check this out. I have it down. This is fancy. All right. Let's do this. First of all, welcome everybody to Scale Through the Fail. Every Friday, 9 a.m. Central, we go live with real estate news, noise, and what's next. And every now and then, you get some fun stuff like this. All right. Walter Key's top
fancy.
5.
That is
Number
fancy.
1 is a flashlight. Walter, real quick, why?
Right. So a couple reasons, right? The obvious thing is if you're in a house, you might need a light, right? The obvious stuff. There is occasions where the power goes out. You might have to look into a crawl space, right? There's a lot of real estate related reasons to have a great flashlight. And if you don't have one, while it's not necessarily your job to provide one, it'll be an impression that gets set on your clients that you weren't prepared for the inevitable. So just have one. Now, as a secondary, a good quality flashlight has multiple other uses, right? Maybe you're driving home and something happens on the side of the road and you need to go outside of your vehicle and look at your car. Maybe you're in a defensive scenario and you need that flashlight to be used as a self-defense tool. Flashlights are a universal tool that absolutely every person on this planet should invest a little bit of money in to have a good one handy. As the real estate side of it, like I already said, think about all of the different situations where you might not have light in a real estate business. I'm showing houses and I'm driving home and it got dark, especially now this time of year, it gets dark early. I'm in a house and for whatever reason, the power went out. It's not my house. I have no idea where things are at. A flashlight is going to be super, super useful. I need to peek under the crawl space to make my client at ease about something, but I don't feel like crawling all the way in there and getting filthy. A good quality flashlight will shine all the way across the crawl space. So there's no downside to having one. There's no negatives.
The passion that just came out of someone talking about a flashlight was moving. Well done, Walter. All right, let's get into, wait a second. Hold on. If you're watching right now and you love what Walt is saying, leave a comment with the item. So flashlight, if you think a flashlight is a great, I want to know. And then you're going to be assembling your own top 5 as we go through this. All right, number 2.
All right, number 2 is a little more unique. You might not necessarily use it as much, but it's very unique. So in the world of real estate, anything you can do to make a great impression on your clients is well worth your time and energy. So not just a tape measure, right? Not just, well, I happen to carry a tape measure on my belt, therefore. I like to have custom branded tape measures. You can make these for like $3 a piece. And I keep them in my car. So anytime I've got a new client and we're looking through a house and the question comes up, well, I wonder if our furniture would fit here, or what about this? I can give them, not just measure something for them, but I can give them a custom logoed, custom branded tape measure for them to then go measure the room that we're standing in, measure out the house, but they keep it forever. My info's on it. It's just a little way for them to always remember how incredibly thoughtful and prepared I was when they, 3 weeks after they've moved in and they're shuffling things around and they need another tape measure, but theirs is still packed away. Boom, there's Walt's tape measure that he gave us.
I'm noticing a trend already, guys, with Walters, which is this level of preparedness that is good for him, but also to be able to answer questions immediately, or rather, not answer just questions, but like give results.
There's a level of value that when you say, "Oh, I got you there."
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wish I could measure this out because our couch is really big. I got you here.
And here's the thing. I would have never thought when I first got into real estate that a tape measure would have been useful. Flashlight, I think that one's kind of a given because we're ingrained growing up as kids, at least in my generation, like every kid had a flashlight. So it was like, that was commonplace. But the tape measure, nobody ever talked about that. And then I'm pretty sure like almost every showing that I've ever done, someone asks something about room size, closet size. Yeah. Will my couch fit here? Like, always. I'm pretty sure. Chris, do you agree?
I agree.
Okay, don't worry. We won't steal your thunder because we'll get into yours next.
Exactly right.
Let's move on to shout out to Camellia and Sonia, by the way. First 2 viewers of the day. You guys rock.
Nice. All right.
Number 3.
Now, this is, again, multifaceted. The obvious thing, right? You got to eat while you're out doing showings. But so many agents get into this habit. I've done it myself, right? I've learned this lesson the hard way of I'm going to go show clients this, and we're driving over here, we're driving over there, we're driving over here, 8 showings in one day, and we're driving all over the place. And you're either starving at the end of the day because you haven't eaten all day long, which is just not good for you, right? It's not healthy. It throws your metabolism off. It's not a wise thing to do. Or you end that month of being busy, doing what we do, showing clients houses, and then you look at your checkbook and you go, oh my God, I spent $270 freaking dollars on junk food on a quick stop through the gas station on the way to the next showing. So it's bad for your health. It's bad for your finances. So
bad for health,
preparing
bad for your finances.
in advance. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go to Costco and buy a bunch of nuts and raisins and granola or snacks or whatever it is that you want. Something that you can easily take with you each day. You can even leave it in your car potentially, so it's always there. Protein bars, etc. And you will be far less cranky at the end of the day when you're getting a little short, and that's never good for your clients. You'll be far less hungry and unhealthy because of the choices you made in advance when you had a clear head and you could think through what would be logically something smart to eat. And you can save a ton of money that you can then pour into business in smarter ways by shopping in advance, buying it in bulk, packaging it up together, and being prepared. There's that word again, with your food and your finances.
Walter, I have to say, I this one surprised me because I think I've heard a lot of top essential items from a lot of agents all over. And I think food, healthy snacks, to be more specific, has probably been, this might be the first time I've heard someone say it. But I would attest, anybody listening, how many times have you been out showing homes and then the day gets longer and longer and your stomach is just growling? And then like Walter said, one of two things happen. You go and stop at a fast food place, which is actually going to make you crash harder. Yeah, Taco Bell. Or you turn around and you have to suffer through it, which is not good. You get lightheaded. You get cranky. Let's be real here, right? You are not focused on them anymore. You're focused on yourself. I'll add to this, though, timing as well. I will tell you this, and it's embarrassing for our industry. How many agents are late because they're busy serving their own needs? Not even needs. Agents late to showings, late to meetings, late to closings because they needed to grab their Starbucks.
Yeah.
Preparedness like this, so it's silly, but at the same time, it is so insulting for someone's largest purchase of their life. And you're like, oh, sorry, I'm late on the biggest purchase you ever make in your life. I just really needed my caramel macchiato. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And if it was that important, then you should have turned around and got up earlier or went without it. But if you're prepared, right? If Walter's saying food wise, if you're prepared and you got some snacks in the car and you mess up, your client doesn't have to suffer for it. You forgot to eat your healthy breakfast. You forgot, but I have a bag in my car actually of an assortment of granola bars and other things. They're nothing that I would normally want to eat, but they're healthy. They generally don't expire. And so they sit in there. And if I'm hungry enough, I will eat them. What do you guys think? Do you guys keep any food on you? And if you do, what food do you keep on you? I want to know. All right.
I've kept food on me for years. It's always in the truck. I keep
you gotta do it.
Where the packaging is all bleached out and you can't even read what company made it anymore.
Yeah, some of that got thrown out when I moved this time, and my wife's like, "What? How old is this?"
Yeah, right. I see some good comments on the snack category there. There's some good.
What I miss?
There's some good, solid. Hey, yep, that's legit in the snack.
Yes, yeah, they're going along with you.
Good stuff.
Shout out to Sonia, who is also one of the most faithful people coming to my beta Agent Mafia class. Sonia, you rock. You have been a delight, by the way. Sonia says she keeps water, peanut butter, and crackers. Smart, easy. Peanut butter, man, protein fills you right up.
Yep.
Always got to have water.
I'm a fan of the peanut butter crackers as well. They're easy. They're packaged up. They hold well. They don't get melty if it gets hot. Peanut butter crackers are a good way to go.
Heck yeah. All right, guys, tell us what you want. I'm really curious. All right, next one, number 4. All
right, this kind of goes along with healthy snacks, but and actually Sonia stole my thunder on this because she nailed it in the comments. Obviously, it's important to you to stay healthy, but imagine this for a moment, right? You're prepared, but your clients weren't, and it's a young family, and mom has a baby and a 6-year-old, and chaos is always ensuing. That's just how life goes, and they are thirsty. The 6-year-old will not settle down to let mom look at the house because she's thirsty. I keep a pack of bottled water in my car at all times. Now, it's not super cold. It's not ice cold, but it doesn't get like super hot either. But I always have extra bottles of water for me, obviously, because I want to stay healthy and be able to focus. But you never know when you're going to be in a position to hand that peanut butter cracker pack and a bottle of water to the 6-year-old or the 9-year-old. And even though it's not going to end the day if the 6-year-old doesn't get their way, oh my goodness, it changes the atmosphere to mom when the 9-year-old can settle down and get a snack and not be hangry. I mean,
you're like a hero.
And mom can focus on looking at the house because she's doing this on her own. Maybe dad's at work, whatever the case, right? And it's just busy and chaotic. And any little thing you can do to ease that pressure and make it easier for the buyer to focus on the home, everybody wins in that day. So bottled water, always, always, always. I have extra in the car, and for exactly what Sonia said. Sometimes you might actually hand it to the client and be the hero in that case.
Yeah, totally agree. So Walter, do you carry it in like a thermos type of thing?
So I have a water bottle for me, a plastic. I fill it up every day on the way out, but then I keep a pack of actual commercial closed water bottles to give to clients if they need it. Or if I run out and in a pinch, I can grab another one out of the back. I always fill up a water bottle before I go, just so I have fresh water and I don't have to use the packets. But I also have a pack of bottled water just in case.
Chris, what about you? He's like, you guys drink water?
I keep a whole cooler. So, yeah, no, I keep a cooler. It's like a hard shell cooler in the car that's full of water. And then I've got a plastic container that has all the snacks in it. And that's shoved down in there with the water to make my snacks last longer.
See, it's funny how much we have in common and we've never even talked about this stuff before. I've got cases of water, usually at least one case of water, and then snacks, and a bunch of other like emergency kit stuff. So for everybody tuning in, if you have water, do you do a small plastic water bottle like Walter's saying, it fills up every day? Do you do like I do? I mean, I keep these suckers. Chris even knows when we travel, I show up. I always have this with me, and usually my tea as well.
He doesn't even wash it. He just keeps using it. It's gross.
Ew. And if you don't carry water with you, you're gonna die. Please carry water with you.
Might eventually.
All right, let's do number 5.
All right, last but not least, I like that the pin that you used in the image is a metal barrel pin. That's perfect. I always have a pin on me. In real estate, out of real estate, when I'm teaching, when I'm coaching, anything I'm doing, if I leave my house, I have a pin in my back pocket always, and a metal barrel pin, a nice high quality metal barrel pin. The obvious stuff is, right, if you're in a house talking to a client, you might need to take some notes. You might want to scribble something down on an MLS sheet, or you might want to pull something up on your phone to verify the info and then write it down on the client's MLS sheet so they have it, right? There's so many different things you can do, right? If you have to swing through somewhere and get that caramel macchiato for you and your clients, you want a pen that you can write a signature with. But then last but not least, a pen makes an absolutely fantastic self-defense tool. And while we won't get into the whole smorgasbord of real estate safety and self-defense, we put ourselves in inherently dangerous situations sometimes because we're going into random homes that we don't know with strangers potentially that we've not vetted super, super thoroughly because they're clients that we just met. You're hosting an open house and it's fair game. Anybody can walk in. Not everyone can carry a firearm. Not all the time does a firearm even make sense tactically from a guy who teaches people how to use firearms. A firearm is usually not the right answer in a close proximity. But a metal barrel pen is a wonderful, wonderful tool to have on you. You can do lots of things with it, right? You can actually, if you needed to punch a hole in something, you can punch a hole with a metal barrel pen. A plastic pen would break. You can punch a hole in somebody's face if you really need to as a self-defense mechanism. So there's just so many different ways that you can use a pen. It's always a good idea to have one handy. And I recommend a nice quality, I say nice quality, but you're talking $6 instead of $1.99 to get a really decent metal pen.
I love it.
I really wish we had a soundboard right there where it was like everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah.
Listen, I started downloading some sound bites.
Okay.
I've got some. I just I haven't figured out how to implement them yet. I haven't had the time, but they're coming.
Love it.
Man, safety. I think that's a big one too. I like that you brought up a metal pen. I know a lot of times when we talk about safety when I see it on like Facebook groups and things like that, it always goes straight to a gun. Yeah. But some people, usually the people who say that are in a state that's very gun friendly. And so the ability to get a gun, but like New York, California,
and
Chicago,
honestly, there's in addition to some states being very restrictive on firearms, I love firearms. I'm the local county reigning champ right now at a competition that we do. I just won a firearm in a shooting competition. I love to shoot. I teach people to shoot. I teach shooting and unarmed self-defense. And I'll be the first to tell you, there's a lot of situations where a firearm is not the best tool, especially in the real estate world, because we're already automatically in such a close proximity that the ability to assess something, back up and close distance, draw if you need to, you don't have that reaction time. You might be in the kitchen at an open house and somebody walks in within a couple feet of you and you just assume, well, they're coming to sign in on the sign-in sheet, and then you get attacked and you don't have time to draw a firearm. I can have a pen already out if I get nervous about something, right? I can have my flashlight out because nobody thinks twice if you're holding a pen in your hand. But if I have a pen in my hand thinking this guy's acting squirrely, I might need to defend myself, you're prepared. You can't do that with a firearm. I can't stand at an open house with my gun out and be like, y'all behave now, right? You can't. So
y'all behave now.
And then the other great thing is, right, for anyone who ever travels, like I've gone to more countries than I can count off the top of my head. My flashlight and my pen always travel with me. Even at the airport, they checked right through TSA. They're on my person on the plane.
Yeah.
They're just great tools to have.
They really
so
are.
many reasons.
Safety first, guys. But also, Chris, now you need to do a TikTok because your country. You need to do a TikTok and be like, how we do TikTok in the country. Y'all behave now. Wait, behave now. All right, guys. Now it is time to get into Walter Key's 2 useless items that you may already be using.
All right.
Number 1.
Hopefully you're not using this first one. Hopefully you haven't spent the money on it. Now, shout out to my wonderful wife and daughter. They thought, because I was living in my car at one point, I was spending so many hours driving around showing houses. They thought that a mobile Wi-Fi enabled printer would be useful because I'm in my car. I have a Ford Expedition. I have some space. And if I needed to print something on the fly, last minute change, I got to print a new MLS sheet, I could just turn on the printer and fire up the Wi-Fi and boom, done. And after about 7.5 months of a Wi-Fi printer sitting complete, of course it's rechargeable, but I've never taken it out of my car to recharge, so it's completely useless at this point. Just sitting in my car for 7.5 months, taking up space. Never once did I think, oh man, I wish I had that fired up. I finally donated it to a resale store so someone else could use it. It was a wonderful thought initially, but you just don't need that level of printer capability when you're driving around. Prep your day in advance, get your listings prepped, get your schedule set, get everything printed up the night before, maybe the morning of. You're probably not going to need to worry about printing something on the fly in between showings. Just pull it up on your phone.
We really need to do a video of like 10 useless items that real estate agents are sold, and like find them. And because I think that'd be really fun, but I also think it would be helpful to people.
Oh yeah,
because there's a lot of new agents, or honestly not even new agents. Chris, as team leaders, how often are we people are trying to sell us things saying we need these as team leaders, and like we have to look at them and basically we have to teach them about what it means to be a team leader and why this is not useful. Like, all right, let's get into number 2.
Yeah, my favorite, paid lead gen. It's useless. You don't need it. If you're paying for it right now, shame on you. Quit doing it. There are so many great ways to build your business, scale, prospect for free. There are coaching programs out there that will teach you how to do lead gen that cost you no dollars. There's so many great ways to do this, and we don't have days to sit here and talk about all the wonderful strategies that are out there. But if you're paying for any sort of lead gen, right, all the big acronyms, all the big names, we don't need to name them on here. They all basically work the same. They grab as quickly and as fast as they can. They grab random data from some input into their website. Oftentimes, it's not even a vetted client. And they will throw that at as many agents as possible, as quickly as possible, and hope somebody grabs it. And praise that it closes so they can get more money from you, but they don't even care if it closes because you're paying for it monthly. The model is we're going to get your money every single month, whether you close a deal from this junk or not. And you might close a deal occasionally, but I'm telling you right now, the amount of time that you're pouring and the amount of money that you're pouring into paid lead gen, you can be tripling your actual closed business by doing it for free with the right strategies. Quit paying for crap. The end.
I will say this though, okay? I want to personally put some context in here, okay? I am going to speak for myself, and then Walter can speak for himself. I think there is a time and place for paid lead gen, but I think 99% of agents do not meet that criteria. So shout out to people like Sunseat, who runs one of the largest teams in California. Okay, no matter how hard Sunseat works, he will not have enough leads organically by himself and still be a good team leader and business owner, right? So I think there's a time and place, but here's the reality. If you don't use your CRM right, if you don't have follow-up plans / you are good at following up, if you don't know how to convert, you are going to throw a ton of money and you're going to waste 70, 80% of what you're going to get. Go get it for free, scale up, and then eventually, I look at it as kind of like a lead gen as your manufacturing line. When you get to the point of where you need a warehouse and a manufacturing line, then you talk about that. But most agents are not going to even ever get to that level. They're not trying to be one of the greatest top team leaders in the world with 70 agents on their team. And that's just not realistic.
Yeah. At least 90% of agents don't need paid lead gen.
Yep. So shout out to great people like Jade and Shane and people who have amazing history in lead gen and do a fantastic job, but ask them even, and they'll tell you. I've seen them post about it. Like, if you don't know how to close deals, especially for paid lead gen is still cold. I'm going to tell you the truth. Even if it's a live transfer, it's cold. They don't know you. You have no past history. It's cold. If you can't handle cold calling, basically, right? Cold conversations, paid lead gen is going to make you feel defeated, like a failure. And you don't have your foundation set, your CRM, your follow-up plans, your conversions. You probably don't track your numbers, right? So I just want to give context there because we do have amazing partners in the paid lead gen place, but most agents, you're just not at that level, and you're going to throw away money.
It's a scaling mechanism. And like you said, most agents, by 90 plus at least, are never at a point where they really need to be paying to scale because they never are proactive and diligent and laid out a plan, and they have their goals and they have their calendar laid out properly. So they've never maximized their own time yet to build their business for free. Most agents are not anywhere near the point where they would need to pay to scale.
If you are not certain whether it's time for you to scale, broker, team leader, new agent, top producing agent, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Drop a comment, tag us, and we will give you honest feedback. And then if you are in a position to scale, we'll link you up with people we personally know that have valid history, that have a reputation for delivering quality services. We'll take some of that anxiety out of the mix for you because there's a billion people out there trying to take your money and you have no idea if any of them are good. Let us tell you who some of the best people are if you're ready for it. All right. So do you guys think Walter nailed it with his top 5 and his 2 useless items? If you did, give us a big old like and let him know that you agree with him. But if you think he kind of missed the mark on some things, maybe he put something on the top 5 that you're like, I can't believe that's on your top 5. You're insane. Yeah. Or I can't believe something's not on your top 5. Or maybe you disagree with the 2 items he feels is useless. Maybe you are a paid lead gen king or queen. And
maybe you've actually used the Wi-Fi enabled printer. Maybe you
use the Wi-Fi mobile printer. Leave a comment. Let us know if you disagree. Also, just let us know what your top 5 are and your top 2 useless items. I know you bought something and you seriously regret it. I want to know what it is. All right, without further ado, Chris, are you ready?
Mostly.
Okay, well, that was weak.
I'm kidding.
Now I'm concerned. But let's do it.
Absolutely ready.
Chris Rain's top 5. Would you look at number 1? What is happening?
How's that
so
possible?
I think, I mean, let's be real here. I'm pretty certain that in the chat that we had going back and forth, I might have named Flashlight first, but whatever.
Okay, so, you might have.
You probably did.
Really. So
yeah, I mean,
Flashlight,
it's such a great tool.
Very important. Like Walter said, all the crawl spaces, attics, houses without power. I mean, I literally used mine. I think I did a showing. It was 6:30. I think one evening last week. So completely dark on 5 acres, and power. No power's on at the property. So it's literally just me out there with a flashlight, and seeing everything on the property, seeing everything underneath the house, in the house. Everything was flashlight. I was even taking pictures in the house, shining my flashlight and using my phone camera as well, and the flash on that, trying to pick up as much as I could. And it's almost I carry 2 flashlights at least. So what I found is when you show up and you hand your clients a flashlight as well, and they're like, holy crap, this guy is prepared. Not only did he bring a flashlight for him, he brought one for me too. And so usually I probably have like 4 in my truck. So if I show up and there's like 2 clients, everybody gets a flashlight. You get a flashlight, you get a flashlight, you get a flashlight. So it's important. I'm like freaking Oprah with flashlights. So it's good stuff. You never know. I don't like stepping on things I don't want to step on, not knowing what's behind what. And I want to be able to see where
behind door number 2.
I want to see. Maybe there's a raccoon in the house. I really don't want to get attacked. be like Guardians of the Galaxy get attacked by a raccoon or something. That wouldn't be good. So I want to know that there's a raccoon.
I like it. I love that you even took it to the next level and said, I have a flashlight for my clients as well. Because I'm going to agree with you. If I walked into a showing with an agent and they gave me something useful for that showing, I would be like, you literally just did something that no agent before me has ever done. So props to you. Sonia says her top 5 are flashlight, tape measure.
I think she was answering Mira. She was giving Mira the top
look at
5,
that.
yeah.
You're awesome, Sonia. Sonia says she also brings an extra umbrella, zipped sweatshirt, just in case someone needs it. Dang. She said you nailed it. We got some more likes in there too. Next time we're gonna do like a head-to-head battle. It'll be like a heart for Chris, a like for Walter, and we'll see who's the most popular one at list at the end. All right. Item number 2. An iPhone, specifically iPhone. So I'm holding true to this. I'm not being biased.
Yep. So iPhone for sure. So I was an Android guy for I don't know how long, but my wife's a fashion blogger. I saw all the pictures she was doing, the way she was able to edit, and a lot of it is truly the iPhone camera, the wide angle lens, yada, like the list goes on. That's if you're taking pictures of anything. And as real estate agents, you'll go in and you'll be doing virtual showings, virtual tours, having to take pictures of stuff. Even if you don't do your own photography with it, you have to take pictures of things and send them to your clients and post about things online and use it for lead gen. And you're flipping it around. You're taking video of yourself. It's almost impossible to be a good agent, have a good online presence, and not have an iPhone. That's just my take. I finally bit the bullet, got the iPhone 12 Pro, whatever it was, newest one at the time. And we'll continue to stay ahead of the game here because it is something that I use consistently. So
I love it.
I stand by that.
I love it. I mean, quite honestly, I can see it. I think one thing the iPhone does that's pretty exceptional is people who use it seem to just have great picture quality, video quality, and it seems to be easier for them to get that quality that they're looking for. Android can do it, but I think it takes a couple extra steps with Android. And I think if we've all learned with real estate agents, let's be honest here, if it takes a couple extra steps, they're probably not going to do it.
One other really strange thing, I think some of the social media platforms actually push the iPhone, the Apple app more than they do the Android app. The versions. I think the iPhone versions get pushed a little bit more. So I think your content actually reaches more people if you're using an iPhone.
Conspiracy theory. Find out episode 2.
I don't think it's a conspiracy, So wife and I have both tracked it, looked into stuff a little bit, and the people that use iPhone do better.
They're better. The people that use iPhones, quote of the century right there. People who use iPhones are better.
They're better.
He said they do better. He didn't say they are better.
They do better.
They do better. More likely to succeed in life if you have an iPhone.
If you're an agent, you are more likely to succeed in life. And this is about agents. So I can't tell you about the rest of it, but
I love it.
I mean, ever since I ditched my Android, my life has improved. So,
and that must be what
it was.
All right, next one. Boots.
Yeah.
Boots, baby. Boots that are made for walking.
Yeah, good one. Real good one.
So what else you need to know? Boots are made for walking. So I'm out. I'm showing properties. It's raining. I don't need whatever flip-flops, sneakers, dress shoes, whatever I'm wearing out there be getting muddy. So you want to make sure you carry a pair of boots. If you really want to get fancy, you carry a pair of boots for your clients too. But who knows what shoe size they're going to be. But really, at that point, carrying some extra bags. This leads me into it. Extra Walmart bags and stuff for your clients, because when they walk out and they get their shoes muddy and stuff, they're going to need a place to keep their stuff clean. Yeah. So I've had clients have to take their shoes off whenever they're getting in their car because their boots or shoes or whatever they're wearing are covered and they don't have extra shoes. So
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do to save the day. But I don't like wet feet. I don't like wet socks. I don't like muddy feet, any of that stuff.
Chris is particular about his feet, just so you all know.
I'm particular about my feet.
I mean, he's got an OnlyFans account to protect.
All the feet pics and stuff that I sell and videos on OnlyFans would not be good if they were dirty. People like clean feet on there. So I've got to take care of my feet. So wearing boots, keeping my socks dry, keep my feet looking good.
Yeah.
We'll share the link another day.
I will. I'll throw a thumbs up on that one as well. So I always keep a pair of hiking shoes in my car as well. Absolutely agree with you, especially when I lived out in Central Virginia. Little bit less here in Florida because we have so much sand, we don't have mud. But absolutely, an extra pair of shoes is a game changer.
I never saw the value of boots, and someone early on in real estate told me that, and I ignored them. Being real, I was like, man, it's just because they're country. And they just told me to wear boots because that's what men wear in Tennessee. That's the impression I got, was that you drive a big truck, you wear the boots, even if you don't work a farm, don't need a truck, don't step in mud. You have to look the part when you're in Tennessee. And then I went to a showing one time on a rainy day, and even then, usually sidewalks, right? Things like that. And then the client goes, "Hey, what's that thing in the backyard?" I didn't think twice about it. I step into that backyard and I just hear this. Yeah. And I look down at my little short, like they're not vans, but they're like vans.
They're like
I forget what they're called, short tops, or they're not high top, whatever. But and then just mud, just encasing them, and essentially ruining the shoe, because you can't. It's very hard to clean shoes, by the way. Don't. If you throw them in the
Especially
washer.
fabric shoes, yes.
Yeah. And then I was like, I really wish I was wearing boots right now. I do. And then ever since then, I was like, okay, that or just having a good pair of tennis shoes that you're willing to get dirty, and those are your dirty tennis shoes, right? So I have to agree with you on that one too, that was a shocker for me. All right, let's do
I actually equally for the record, I actually equally carry flip-flops as well.
I believe that.
Yeah, and half the time I'm probably wearing flip-flops anyways, but.
All right. Number 4.
More water.
It says water. Whoops.
More water. So
just kidding. Okay. It's laser water.
Laser water. Yeah. So the old-fashioned tape measure is good stuff, but the laser measure.
You just called Walter old-fashioned. You all heard it.
Yep, I did. That was a personal attack.
Little bit of gray coming in on the beard.
That's just because Walter's like both our ages combined almost. So
back in my day, we didn't have them fancy laser things.
We just had a strip of bark and we just made markings on it.
We made markers on it. Yeah, exactly.
We pasted out with our shoe because we knew how big our foot was.
No, really, a laser measure is the way to go. If you want to measure a room and you want to look official, and you get out and you're having somebody hold will you hold this in, and you're shaking around and you're trying to get the measurement of the room and you can't get it. But whenever you walk up and you put your little laser measure and it shines against one side of the other wall, and they're like, man, that's cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Now, I will say, even though I'm old,
freaking hero.
I completely agree with what you said there, Chris. Absolutely a laser measurer, 100%. I have one in my car as well. If I am measuring a space, I'm measuring a listing property for a client, or I know ahead of time we're going to take multiple measurements of something, I have a laser measure that I will go in, boom, 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 boom. I'm quick, I'm efficient, I'm prepared, I'm ready to go. I keep also, in addition to, I have one laser measure for me, and I keep a box of branded logoed tape measures for me to hand out to my clients if they just ask or if they need a one-time thing. But I 100% agree. You will save so much time with a laser than you will with the old school tape if you're trying to measure multiple walls, multiple rooms yourself. Absolutely worthwhile.
And if you really want to impress your clients, here's how you really take this number 4 to the next level. You throw on some of those Kanye West shutter shades and you pull out a little disco ball and you're like, and then they're like, whoa, he measured the door while also jamming out like a DJ. We're in. Whatever it is, we're in. And when your live show comes up, we're there too. Give us tickets. And then be paying for those tickets like Taylor Swift. Woo! Anybody use a laser? I actually want to know. Anybody use a laser tape measure other than Chris because he's fancy? He's the fanciest fancy.
I mean, I use one too if I'm measuring for me. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Oh, but your clients don't get the laser.
The custom branded manual tape measure isn't necessarily about measuring everything.
It's an interactive experience.
It's about the experience and the value to the client. They might need to measure one wall to see if the couch fits. Here you go. Let's measure
They
the
can
wall.
always measure you up to the competition.
Right. And keep that. But that was good.
Okay, here's what you also need to do. You need to have like sunglasses, and you'd be like, before I do what's next, please put your glasses on. And then you pull out the laser. Then you pull out another laser.
All right. Moving right along. What's number 5? I'm curious.
Number 5, I don't know because I didn't get it in time. But in Chris's defense, I want to say I thought of this at the last second. Like truly up until this morning, 30 seconds before we started, I was doing the slideshow. So don't hate on Chris. He did not have enough time. I did not give him enough time. So Chris, surprise us. What is your number 5?
Before you say okay. We can't miss this opportunity. This is what old people do for you. They seize opportunities. Everyone watching live, drop a comment about what you think Chris's number 5 is going to be.
Okay.
Drop that comment right now. And while you're chatting, Chris can drop it in there. Go ahead, Chris.
So out of all of these, my number 5 is going to be a general toolkit. So something containing a hammer, screwdriver, pliers, all the general tools that you can buy. I mean, you can buy for like $30 a general toolkit that can do pretty much everything. You got a little piece. You go to Harbor Freight, Northern Tool. They've all got, I mean, right now, today is the day. If you want a general toolkit, today is the day.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing a special episode.
They've got the best stuff on Black Friday. You go in Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever. They're going to have a deal on something.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It'll be on sale. It'll be good. It'll be high quality. You're going to be like, man, 2 weeks from now, you're going to be having to unscrew something for one of your clients because they don't have any tools or whatever it is. And you'd be like, Chris just saved my life with this freaking toolkit. And I saved money because he told me to buy it on Black Friday.
Yep.
That is exactly why we did this episode for you all at the last second. It was stressful as heck because I'm like, I got to put a slideshow together, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, this is a great opportunity for real estate agents to come in, see this list, hear from some professionals, and I'm sure there's some things on here that you don't have, and hopefully you've gotten some convincing arguments. So let's move on to Chris's 2 useless items that I don't know as well. So Chris, number 1.
The number 1 most useless item that nobody's ever going to ask you and you're never going to need to know past your licensure is the memorization of how many square feet are in an acre. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Nobody cares.
Yes.
Nobody
that's so
is ever going to ask you, well, how many square feet is in this quarter-acre lot? Because nobody cares. No.
And they'll ask Google before they'll ask you.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you can type it into Google. You do not have to memorize how many square feet are in an acre. Whatever, 52,000 some odd.
I'm gonna turn my head to the side. I'm gonna shake that out and get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
I held on to it all these years because I was waiting, but
you can Google that crap. GTS, Google it. And let's see. Number 2.
Hold on.
Number 2, go ahead.
There we go.
I've been cued. All right. Number 2, useless item, HomeSnap. HomeSnap is useless. You would not believe the number of agents, licensed agents, that have contacted me about a property that I sold 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever, trying to set up a showing through HomeSnap to see a house I sold a year ago. Because instead of using their MLS that we're supposed to use, they're using HomeSnap because they think it's easier. It's ridiculous.
Interesting. I thought you were going to
ridiculous.
go with the HomeSnap Awards.
Well, I'm getting into that. I'm getting into that because the
For
next
those who
thing
paid.
with HomeSnap Awards coming out and everyone gets one, I know the general clientele doesn't get it. They don't understand. They have no idea. They think, man, this guy's amazing. Well, HomeSnap's giving everyone awards in order to advertise HomeSnap.
Yeah.
Every time you post your HomeSnap awards, HomeSnap is getting some kind of something from it. The agents are seeing it.
All of your clients see that and they go to HomeSnap and they get their money taken away by HomeSnap too.
Yep.
And here's the thing for me, like it boggles me, but and I'm gonna hurt some feelings. This is Walt Key. That's what I do. I'm old school. I hurt feelings. If you're in the top 25, sit down and be quiet. You're not doing too great. Because statistically speaking, almost 90% will be out of the business in 2 years. That means if you're not in the top 10 or 15%, you're statistically not doing so hot. You might get out of the business. 75% is a C. So if you're in the top 25%, you're average. Not super impressive. Sorry, I know I'm going to hurt some feelings, but I love my top 25. No.
I literally know people that
if you get the top 5, go ahead and post it on your social. Brag a little bit.
Here's the thing. We've talked about this before. And it's actually kind of like what you guys have already shown about the items you get, the usefulness of them, and how they help you perform better as an agent. That's the truth. Serves a client need, serves an agent's need. Either way, your business is better off. What happens is that agents will attach themselves to useless. That's why I emphasize the word useless items. Agents are posting because their brokerage put them in the top 20% and surprised them with a sign on their yard. And I'm like, you know what your broker could have done? They could have just got you a new open house sign. They could have taken that money and taken that time and actually helped you make more money and grow your business. And instead, they did something that is absolutely placebo. They knew it does not mean anything. It really doesn't. Like Walter just said, congratulations, you're average and nothing special. We're so glad that we get to take your money. And I know that some people mean it well. Okay, I know that there's people who do it genuinely to try and appreciate. I've done placebo things too, but I try so hard to make sure that what I buy, how I spend my time, how I serve others, it actually has an impact. And if it's not useful, it feels borderline like a lie. It feels almost like deceit. And I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't do that. Agents, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. In fact, I'm going to throw a challenge out there for you, okay? The next time, if you're at a brokerage who puts those signs in the yard, the next time they want to go put a sign in the yard to congratulate you on being average, I say you take that sign back and you ask your broker in exchange for something actually useful for growing your business. I say, hey, next time, thanks so much. Be respectful, be humble. Thanks so much for this sign. But do you think next time maybe you could get me a new open house sign? You can do the exact same frame, the exact same size and everything. And do you think you could do an open house sign? Or do you think you could contribute to whatever you spent on this? Let's say it's $25, right? They're not super expensive. Let's say $50. Do you think you could contribute that to my next open house or my marketing budget? Make a deal. Make sure you're partners, right? Anyway, I'll get too distracted with that. Chris, I love it. Now, technically you broke the rules because the rules were it had to be physical or digital item, and the I'm drawing a blank now. The memorization of the square footage.
Yeah.
It's square feet and acre.
So disqualified. Walkie's the champ. Yes.
I was gonna give him a chance for redemption because I didn't give him much time to think. So, Chris, right off the bat, can you think of a replacement for that one?
Well, one more thing.
Physical or digital useless item.
While I'm ahead, I have to jump out of here and go start a coaching call. So
see you, Walter.
I'll catch the other end of it. I'm jumping off while I'm in the lead.
I'm still here.
I'll talk to you guys. Happy Friday, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, useless item. Around here, I'm going to say most likely an electric car.
Interesting.
Useless
Wow.
item.
Not
Useless
expecting
item.
that.
Electric car. So the problem is you're going to get somewhere and you're not going to have anywhere to charge that thing up. If you're out doing showings and you don't have enough charge and you're starting to run out and you can't get back into town wherever you need to go, but there's a gas station around every corner. So I don't think that the electric car for the average agent in Tennessee is going to get you as far as you need to go every single day of the year.
Dang. We're about to get some heat from some electric car owners. Hey, here's the thing. Okay, this is just Chris's opinion. If you drive an electric car in Tennessee and you're a real estate agent, and let me emphasize, you need to be productive. You need to be actually driving, showing numbers, and you disagree, leave a comment and tell us. You know why? Because that's the next part. Do you think Chris nailed it with his top 5 and his 2 useless items? If you agree, give us another like. Let him know that he was super special and he just did it just right. Or leave a comment saying you disagree. I feel like we're going to get some disagreement on the electric car, and I want it. I want it because this is about engagement, having fun, but also being productive.
A hybrid's a different story.
Hybrid's a different story.
Hybrid's a different story. I like it. I'm totally cool with somebody having both options, but electric only. I think you'd be in a world of hurt. You get out in some of the places I have to go to.
All right, guys, that concludes our call. We got a couple minutes left. So again, I want you to turn around and leave us with the top 5 items that you feel every real estate agent must have. Seriously, go in, drop a comment. We want to know. And then for everybody who tuned in, were these helpful? Were these useful? Let us know. The whole point was to get you some useful items that maybe you don't have, and go buy them today on Black Friday where you can get them at the best price possible, okay? And then also help you cut out some slack, some crap that doesn't need to be in your business, waste of time, waste of money, and just become more efficient and more effective in what you do. So please let us know. Was this helpful? Did it bring you value? And if you do go buy stuff on the list, take a picture and tag us in it. Particularly tag whoever mentioned it. Then we'll really know who won, who actually went and took action. Plus, you do that and you actually buy some stuff, you'll help us have paid sponsors, because then we can tell people that people actually buy stuff.
Actually watching.
People actually watching and taking action.
Hey, just for the record here, Facebook user says that's the truth about the electric cars. My wife had one when we were in Illinois in 2016. But we sold it before moving to Alabama. We seen the way things were laid out and all the hills, etc. There was just no way. Boom. Electric car owner agrees, and I ain't even had an electric car. And he agrees. I'm all over it.
Awesome. I love it.
To leave, so I win.
I love it. William, Camelia, Sonia, Mira, Facebook user, everybody else who tuned in, especially those saying they found it helpful. Man, we try our best. This was kind of a last decision thing. I was making my list. I buy a bunch of like just normal things that I need, like face wash, shampoo, all that crap, because I'm like, if I can get it for a discount, man, I'll buy it for the year. And then I was like, man, I should help some real estate agents save some money too. And Walter and Chris were true champions late at night, texting away, and this morning, like, hey, here's some ideas. Let's throw this together. So let us know again. With that being said, this is Scale Through the Fail. Thank you, Chris, for coming on the show and just giving us your top 5 plus the 2 useless items. That is amazing. Some people found it super helpful. Others may have some beef with you. I really think it's the electric car people. They're going to come, right? It's coming.
They're hiding. They're coming. They're somewhere.
He's ready. Amir says, Chris changed my opinion about electric cars. Crap. Elon Musk is going to kick you off of Twitter now, Chris.
No, luckily, I'm not on Twitter, so he can tweet all he wants.
Again, just like paid lead gen, I want to say this, though. I am an advocate for innovation and growth and development. I think what Chris is saying was just be practical and actually know your numbers. Make sure it actually works for you where you live. And even Elon Musk says that. If you don't have a means to charge the car, if you don't have stations, but you're driving 200 or 300 miles all the time, you need to know your numbers. You need to make sure that you're just not screwing yourself over. I believe in electric cars and what they're representing, which is just becoming more sustainable and things like that. I think it's great and awesome, but it's got to work for you. It's got to make sense. Truly, you gotta make sure that, like all the other items on the list,
Unless you have more than one car, it's got to make sense every day.
Every day. Good point. Good point. No, none of us here are driving supercars. That's for sure. All right, guys. Welcome again to Scale Through the Fail. We go live every Friday, 9 a.m. What was that accent? 9 a.m. Central, where we talk about real estate news, noise, and what's next. Make sure that you like, comment, share. If you're watching anywhere that has subscribe, and soon the real estate news, noise, and what's next newsletter will be coming out as well. So you'll be able to get a copy and even links to items going in the future to save you a ton of trouble. So we appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving for those who celebrate it. If you don't celebrate it, just thankful in general. And go crush on Black Friday, but don't crush someone, please. There's enough of that. Bye.